stick around for the end of this review because I'm going to show you how you can instantly tell if the movie you want to watch is incredible using IMDb. So, let's talk Joker. Joker follows Arthur Fleck in a series of terrible days that he has and how that pushes him to the brink of his limits, eventually making him Joker. Joker is an incredibly rewatchable movie. It means that it is so easy to just start it and immediately be sucked in. The story flows together so seamlessly. No dip in the pace, no dip in the rhythm. I think it's because Joker structures itself to focus on the story of Arthur Fleck instead of focusing on plot. If it's plot, it's very external. Arthur has to go and do something specific, find something specific to reach a certain goal. For it to be story, it's much more internal, and this movie is very internal. It's about someone who's going insane, so we are more just going through experiences with Arthur, and that is what creates the story of the movie. And since we're following him through his experiences, we sympathize with him. This is where we start to get into what makes Joker such a disturbing movie. What Joker is doing is making us sympathize with a character who has no life. You can tell that Arthur is good-intentioned, and you can tell that he wants to have meaning in his life, and you can tell that in a way he's kind of searching for it. He just has no idea of how to get there. From the hints we get about his past and the very obvious signs we get in the present, he is not having an easy go of it. We start to see how this lack of having anything in his life is corrupting him. And the more that we find out along with him, we see that almost no one in his life has ever been interested in helping him. Not only that, he's actually surrounded by lies. And those are essentially the ingredients that start turning him evil. So what happens? He's aimlessly floating through life looking for something to give himself meaning, and it's never working. No one really cares. He accidentally discovers that he is able to fill it with terror. And watching the movie, you are seeing him hit these marks, taking him down a dark path, and you realize that makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. And that gets darker and darker and darker. And when it reaches that logical conclusion of that scene, that's what makes that Late Show scene so incredible. The tension in that scene is so rough and unsure because you're not only scared of what you're seeing, you don't know how to feel about it. But what you do know is that what happens in that scene stays true to a character that you sympathize with. Have your own opinion, but for a movie to pull that off, that's incredible. But yeah, okay, all right, let's be fair. On the other hand, there's part of this movie that I'm 2 minds about. I do feel kind of uneasy about how much this pulls from Scorsese movies. I mean, you're following a man through New York City, and don't be mistaken, this Gotham City is New York City. And this man is slowly losing his grip on reality. Like, yeah, okay, that's Taxi Driver. There's a man who fantasizes about having his own brush with fame, even if it's for a few minutes, and the character gets to a point where he'll do that by all means, even if it's violent. Yeah, no, that's King of Comedy. I mean, a ton of critics brought that up. It takes from this movie, it takes from this movie. And whenever Robert De Niro shows up, it even adds more fuel to that argument in my head, but who cares? In a world where we revere Quentin Tarantino and he boasts about the things that he steals from other movies, I don't think that we can really be saying that we have to put this one down because it takes from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. The movie is great because it reaches a point where you, the audience, has to realize that Arthur Fleck, regardless of the cards that he was dealt, was going to become the Joker, and it was inevitable. Which brings us to a place of sympathizing with evil. Not just movies, stories rarely have the balls to pull that off, because it's almost impossible. That is why Joker became so popular, and that's also why it's so disturbing. Oh, and the way to tell the movie's going to be great. Go to IMDb. If the Metascore rating is low, but the user rating is above a 7.8, it's going to be great. Thank you very much for watching. This is 5 Minute Critic. Be sure to subscribe for updates on reviews and movie news.